Everybody. Welcome again to the round table. And our topic today, we're asking, are the American people stupid? And we're going to go over the magic bullet theory. We're going to go over 9/11, and we're going to go over what has happened in the Capitol this past week. And we want to be able to examine these things because it seems to me that these things that happen, is just like, come on, common sense got to come in here somewhere. Or maybe I'm missing something. But we have a very nice panel with us today, and I'll let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start out with our new people. Brother Omar, come on in and introduce yourself to everybody.
Peace to everyone. My name is Omar Shamsuddin. I'm just a gentleman who loves Black people. I have been affiliated, but I am a Muslim, and I've been a Muslim for over about 50 years now. And I was affiliated with the movement, the Nation of Islam, and I was affiliated with the American Muslim Mission. And I'm just about doing the work of liberating our people. And thank you, sir.
No, go ahead. If you go ahead if you're not finished. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna add that I am enthusiastic to work with anyone to help liberate our people.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Brother Angel Stub Nose number 7. Brother Taalik.
I first want to thank you so much, Brother Maurice and my brother Jones. I see and I watch the videos all the time. I listen to the Dr. James. I like the conversation. Also, my elder brother, Brother Omar. It's a wonderful thing, and it's an honor to be here on the panel tonight. I'm a little bit under the weather, so excuse me if I should suddenly disappear. I'm just a little bit, under the weather. The things with, I'm going through a little health problems here, and it's up and down, and it's just something I can't help. I have to just roll with the punches. But like they say in show business, the show must go on. So if I can, that's what I'm going to do. And as a former member under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, under his leadership, I was taught as a Muslim, I stay on my post until death do us part. So there is no, I'm on my post until the end. And that's what I intend to do. I enjoy it. I enjoy the post. And see, this is another thing for us. We have to enjoy this. If you don't enjoy this, if you don't enjoy the struggle, I know, we suffer and then we go through some things, but this fight, you have to enjoy the fight. Just like in boxing, you got to enjoy this. If you don't enjoy this, you're gonna have some problems. That's why some of your members are here today and gone tomorrow, because they thought they want to go to Disneyland and things. I'm off topic. I need to talk about me. I'm Angel Snub Number 7. Y'all know who I am. A lot of you do. I'm the host of what we call the Realist Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I'm also promoting something called Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign here on YouTube. Been on YouTube since 2007. And a lot of people might get me a little confused because I do talk to us, we who are the descendants of slaves born in America, the once called Negro, however you want to call yourself, Black people in this country. They might get a little confused because that's my primary target audience or whatever. But I'm not. I'm more than my skin color. I'm more than my skin color. I am much more than that. Now I want to express the other side of me, more than my melanin, more than my skin color. I'm much, much greater and go beyond that. The racists made me, put me in this box, and I'm tired of being a slave in a box. But that's what I'm about. I'm about the new strategy. The Mississippi campaign, that which I represent, that which this platform represents, the Mississippi Initiative, we represent the new strategy, new thinking. This is not to say that we're ignoring the old. It's a combination of things. We learn from the past so that we can move forward in the future. That's the way I look at it. So I'm the host of the Realist Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I represent what we call real truth, and I'm loving it. I love those who want to stand. I love every freedom fighter. I don't care what your mythology may be. You're special because you want to fight. It's over 40 million of us in this country. They don't want to fight like that. Can you imagine if we could get 20 or one good, strong million that will fight, really want to fight? Oh, we be in there. We be in there. Mississippi campaign would be nothing to pull off. Everything that we want to do, we just do it. And the rest who just want to follow, they just come on, follow and help. But that's all. I'm just Angel Snubbing Upset. I'm just your little brother. I'm not divine. I'm not a savior. I'm not Messiah. Just your little brother here that just want to see us in a better place. And I see my beautiful sister Gwen here. You know how I am about women now. You know, Gwen, I need to shut up because Gwen is on the board. So I'm Angel Snubbing Upset. That's all.
Thank you, dear brother.
You're welcome.
All right. Peace and blessings, Sister Gwen. Come on in here. We at introductions.
Hey there, I'm Sister Gwen. I like Sister Gwen, also known as Gwen B. Every live stream or anything, y'all see me or have me say, I always say the word separation because I'm thinking that's the only solution we got. We done tried everything else. And so I always work that in somehow. So that was step one. I'm gonna do it a few more times.
Keep on.
Before the evening is over, whenever there's an opening. So good to meet you. Good to meet everybody.
Pleasure's mine.
Same here.
You're muted.
There we go. Thanks, Doc. And I was saying, our heavyweight champion, Doc, come on in here. Introduce yourself.
Dr. James Jones, you know, just a brother out here trying to do some good, uplifting the minds of working class Black and brown youth, trying to point us towards a better day.
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. And so, Sister Gwen, our topic tonight is, are the American people stupid? And we're going to be looking at the magic bullet theory. We're going to look at 9/11, and we're also going to look at what happened on the Capitol. And we want to definitely dive into it and understand what it is that we should be seeing. But before we get into there, are y'all aware that Black Lives Matter, they did a thing this past weekend twerking on Washington, and it was supposed to be in honor of MLK. Are y'all aware of that? Did y'all see that?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, Doc, I'm gonna put this video in the chat. If you could share, so everybody can see this. So could you share that on the screen real quick so everybody can see, so they'll see exactly what we're talking about. So as Doc is queuing that up, one thing I really believe, I understand why, you know, these countries have morality police. I really understand that. And when I first saw this video, you know, it was a reminder of why we actually need a morality police. You know, us out there putting stops to foolishness like this.
Oh, I remember I saw the icon. I didn't hit the link.
I want to speak on that.
Okay.
Had to be a dark-skinned sister too, huh?
Well,
Guess the white.
it's stupid, you know. First and foremost, she's by herself, so it's all on her. But she's trying to hide behind Martin Luther King and all of that stuff when all she did was really want to just go shake her butt.
Yeah.
And I think that she should have just been woman enough to go and do that instead of hiding behind whatever little nonsense she done thought up. I mean, if you're gonna be grown, then you ought to be woman enough to go and shake your butt wherever you want to and stand behind your decision to do your thing and not hide, because that's stupid. Martin Luther King was a very religious man. He was a very conservative man. He would not find any honor in that.
Right.
He would not find any pleasure in that. He would find that, I think he would find that very offensive. I think any person who respects Martin Luther King Day for whatever reason would find that offensive. I don't care about her doing whatever she's doing. I just want her to be a grown ass woman and do it on her own and then have the consequences therein. I don't think of her as being somebody's child, but if she wants protection from a moral community, you got to have a certain standard for yourself, and then use a time and place for behavior for whatever you decide to do. This smacks of desperation on some level. She's not even a good twerker.
No.
Twerking, she's not even good at it. You want to see some serious twerking, look at that old Atlanta twerk team from back in the 90s. You know what I mean? That ain't even athletic, what she was doing. That's just looking like she just desperate to show her little red, white, and blue outfit or something, or I don't know what the hell she was calling herself doing, but she wasn't doing it very well. It didn't work very well. All she did was make a fool out of herself and have the world laughing at us again about some other stupid junk we did. And she's a beautiful girl. I mean, picture her in some conservative clothes. She can get a man faster in conservative clothes than she can in that. She just reduced her own stock, you know. She just, whatever she was trying backfired. That's what I wanted to say mostly. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Sister Gwen.
You're welcome.
Brother Taalik, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I will concur with what our sister said about this poor lost soul, because that's what she is, a poor lost soul. But every time I see something like this also shows our failure, those of us who are in the forefront of this struggle. It continues to show our failure in and our lack of influence in the community, that the people themselves would actually allow this. You know, they would, for her to know this would be tolerated. Something like this shouldn't even be tolerated. So she feels comfortable where she can come out on Dr. King's birthday and this be tolerated. Those who honor Dr. King, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot, and even the Caucasian people, all of those should have been offended by her actions. Like Sister Gwen said, we don't care what you do on your off day or what you want to do, however, but you know, on this day, and then the title of the video is Black Lives Matter, you want to, it's an insult to Black Lives Matter, really. Technically, I don't know what that organization really is about. I don't know about that. I'm talking about the Black lives that we lost and the reality of the deaths that have gone on for the last some years, well, as long as we've been here, really. and then you combine that with the remembrance of Dr. King, none of those out there should have been tolerated. They were like, I mean, it's a respectful way to do things. They could have went to her, hey, ma'am, this, that's not, that's not good. That's not a good thing, whatever. We can't make nobody do nothing. For as I know, it's not against the law, but we can show our disgust. And I don't think the people, looking at the video, I don't think the people really was paying her that much attention. They really was, a lot of them really wasn't paying her, no mind. But just the fact that in a community, because I know when I was growing up, I grew up in the rural South in the late 60s, early 70s, and we still maintain a certain amount of what you call morality. We was churchgoers and things of this nature. That would not have happened. That would not have been tolerated. I already know that. Matter of fact, the churches that I went to, the little short skirts and all, no. That's a no. No. Children have to behave a certain way. When adults tell you to sit down, you sit down and you shut up. It's certain things you just did not do. The community, not only your parents, the community itself, that's a no. We don't tolerate that. So, like again, I say, and I want to agree with my sister Gwen as much as possible. But we need to get to the strength, and it's not a religious thing. It's really a moral thing, and you don't have to be religious to be moral. You don't have to be religious to be righteous. It's just something. It's something called dignity and honor and character to yourself, value to yourself. The sister is parading herself out like that. She has no value. She's not seeing the value of herself. No, she don't see that, that's less dignity. And you don't get that type of respect carrying yourself that way. So for me, again, it just represents that we have a lot of work to do. And before I take my last breath, I would like to see that we are on a better path. Because if we continue on this path that we're going, we're done. Because something like this can't be tolerated. And again, nothing to do with religion or nothing like that, morality, whatever. It's just dignity and self-respect for oneself. That's all. And for your people. Is this how we are? Are we clowns? Bozos? If that's the case, before I came on, I should have went and got my little bozo nose and put it on here. We clown, we bozos. And that's not what we represent. That's not what we're gonna be. So I rest my mic.
Excellent.
Before you go on, I wanted to make something clear. When I was her age, I acted worse than that on the dance floor, and I wore outfits smaller than that. I wore shorts so short that I had to cut off the pockets. I had to wear bikini panties under them because briefs would be too big. Those were the shorts I wore. And I would wear them in Florida. I put on an outfit like that in the Midwest and stopped traffic. So I turned my butt back around and went in the house and changed clothes. Because in Florida, you could walk around in a bikini. In the Midwest, you couldn't. Because I knew the difference, and I didn't know it at first until I was stopping traffic trying to go to the store. And so I turned my butt around and went in the house. I wore blouses that were smaller than my bras. So I had to go and I had to get go braless under the blouse. Those are halter tops. And this was in the 60s and 70s. I wore I wore dresses so short that I had to wear small underwear because it would be longer than the dress. So we had our day. I'm not saying that that day it was fashion and everybody dressed like that. Today she's standing out, and her outfit and her circumstance is not appropriate for this time and place, nor this climate that we're in. And you got to know the difference if you're going to be out there. And like I said, she was doing what she was doing, and it was wrong for that context, and it still is wrong. Now, when I danced, I would have danced, if I could, dance like that on the dance floor in the club at night, because I'm a young single adult. That's where you do it. If you're going to be doing that, you do it there, and that's the context. but when I came for me to go to work, I'd be out the next day. I wore my uniform with proper underclothes and proper linings under my underclothes because I wanted to give that uniform dignity. There's a whole different context, and women of today need to know the difference of that, and she didn't. But I didn't want you to think that I was a prude all those times. When I had church and stuff like that, I didn't even go to church when I got to be a young single adult because the church wouldn't have tolerated my behavior. So I left the church behind so I can go do my thing and stand up like a woman and do it myself. So but I knew the context and I knew the difference. Okay, that's what I wanted to make clear. Thanks y'all for indulging me on that.
Yes, ma'am. Doc, what do you see when you see the video? What comes to you?
You know, a loss of direction. That we have people who behave as if they have literally been raised in the caves and hills of Europe. That's not our way. You know, today was my first day back teaching. And of course, we're doing a lot of the things virtual. And so one of my rules that I have in my class is, because I truly do want you to learn, you got to keep your camera turned on. Okay, because what these students are doing is they are turning their camera off and they just go leave for the entire, as long as they feel as if they clicked in, they good. No, not up in here. I'm calling you to a higher level. So you got to keep that camera on. Okay. And when it's in their syllabus and I announced it, reinforced it. I got one young lady who says, "Oh, see, that's that shit right there. I said, bullshit. Why we got to have our goddamn camera on and blah 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 blah." And I said, listen, you got a choice. You can leave. I said, you can drop my class and leave, or I can help you out. Let me know right now. Do I need to hit this button to have you expelled out of this room? Because I'll expel you every time you show up. Her response was, "Now that was rude."
What?
That was her response. That was rude. And I said, "You have not seen rude." I said, and you don't even consider what you said to be inappropriate, which lets me know what it is you actually think of me, this university, and these other Black folk who are inside of this room. After that exchange, didn't have a single problem with her. She fell in line. She started, she participated in what have you. We know where to do our foolishness at. We know who's going to accept it, who's going to excuse it, who's going, and what have you. We got to get back to the point of, and there's this old thing, August Wilson, one of the characters in the piano lesson, played Bernice, played by Alfred Woodard. She's talking to her daughter who's going down to the settlement house to spend the day. And she says, "Now, when you get out there, don't be showing your color." That's a lesson that we need to teach every generation of Black America, that we are all inextricably linked with each other. And when you act a fool, it reflects upon all of us, even those who aren't present, our ancestors and future generations. We have to demand better. That was disrespectful of Dr. King. And if it's disrespectful of Dr. King, it's disrespectful of all of our ancestors. Inappropriate, wrong place, wrong time. And somebody needed to, in every way, address her. But what I fear is going to happen is that you're going to see one of those types of videos, or several of those videos, with every celebration of a notable Black moment. Similar to the way these rappers have started creating songs in people's name, and it has nothing to do with the person's legacy whatsoever. Okay. It's I'm not going to say it's just starting, it's continuing, and they're going to find new inventive ways to kind of glean and grasp some social media fame. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everyone wants some, their moment in the sun, and Our people are being celebrated by even our people for the damnedest of reasons. And I yield, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc. Brother Omar, what's your thoughts on this?
I have a question, and that is, who paid her? I mean, there's been a lot going on, and the focus have really been on white people.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that someone paid her to go out there to get the focus off of white people back on us.
Mm.
War is strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to realize that things just don't happen.
Mm.
I believe that every opportunity that our enemy get to make us look bad, they'll take it. I don't believe that young sister came out there on her own. I believe that she was paid to go out there and make a spectacle of herself to reflect on us, and to take attention away from the mess that happened on the 6th. Because right now the whole country is focusing in on white people. Right. They are the scoundrels of America right now. So it would behoove them to do anything to get that attention off of them and back on us. They've tried every tactic that they could, and this is in your face right here. The wise thing to do is just ignore her, because if we don't give it any air, she don't get nothing. And I'm positively sure that she's gonna get her ass kicked on social media. You asked the question, are Americans stupid? That's my take.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Omar. And I want to open this up, and then we're going to get into the magic bullet. But a few things that stuck out to me. Brother Taalik talked about consequences, standards, and righteousness. Honestly, if I was there and I'm seeing her do that, I'm going to approach her and I'm going to talk to her in such a way that she's not going to continue to do that, right? Because it's one thing if you're doing that and ain't nobody seeing you, but here you are, you on the mall, at the monument, and all these people is around, and then you got little children around, and you're doing this, so you're labeling all Black women because they're looking straight at you and like, oh, this is a reflection of all Black women, and that's just not true. So for me, I'm a firm believer in, that kind of foolishness has to be stopped immediately. And consequences have to be applied. And really, I don't even care if it meant me taking my belt off and whooping her ass right then and there. I'd have whooped her ass right then and there. Right then and there. You know why? Because when I was coming up, my grandfather and Mr. Jimmy showed a standard. When the children, we were in the fire hydrant playing, and Mr. Joe came out there and he was drunk and he got in the water, and they told him to get out the water and he wouldn't. They cut that water hose out and told the children to get out the water. They went in the water and whooped his ass. And then he got out of the water and he ain't never got in that water with us again. Never. And that standard of decency, you're gonna respect it or you're gonna pay the price. And I think that those type of things have to be brought back in order for our community to be secure, properly. So Doc, what do you think about that? Is that on the right course? Is that action that we must take, or is that taking a step into barbaric behavior?
I mean, every community has rules, be they written or unwritten, expectations, a moral compass. I don't deal with other people's communities because let them do what it is that they're doing. Dealing with Black folk, I can tell you that there are some people who need to have their shit addressed. And the correction needs to be more outlandish than the offense to put them back in line. Now, there's a urge, and I think that it's an urge that you'll find within the hearts and minds of most humans to do some of the most lascivious, carnal things that one could ever imagine. I had a friend at Ohio State who would say it this way. He said, "Man, Jones, of course I want a big booty woman in my bed, a different one in my bed every night." He said, "But you know why I don't do it? Because God said it's wrong." We need to have a force that restrains that wild beast, that carnal nature of man, to understand that there are some things that we don't do. And it's not a step towards barbarism. It's actually a major step towards civilization, to understand that you are not animal-like, that you are a thinking human being that can express some modicum of restraint. And we're going to show you what happens when you don't express that type of constraint. When you go out here and behave as if you have no impulse control, like the dear president has done repeatedly for the past 4 years, there's going to be hell to pay for that. And we have to regulate our own, because others don't. They have no interest. They have no benefit off of regulating our own. We have to regulate our own. And to be honest with you, that decision to go to the Capitol, to go and do what you did in public, she was grown that way. That's a community failure. That didn't happen just overnight. That's a community failure. That's one of them that we need to really, really pay attention to. And if we can agree that this is a community failure, well, the correction has to come from that same community, because you are inextricably linked to us. And it's our job, it is our duty to go ahead and make you fall in line, like the young lady I was talking about today. Now, I'll let her get that fly talk off and don't say nothing. She's going to think that's acceptable. Now going forward, or maybe I shouldn't step out there like that. Hopefully it extends beyond me. I know she won't step to me like that again, because I'm not playing. I will boot you up out of here without a second thought, because you're not ready. And there's a lot of us who are not ready. So that, once again, it's not a step towards barbarism. Everyone has to have a moral code. And there is something, I don't care about your religiosity, your spirituality. There is something inside of you that innately tells you what is correct and what is incorrect, what is right and what is wrong. And as a community, if they can't regulate themselves, we shall surely do it for them. Get caught out there and see what happens. And I yield.
Excellent. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Brother Omar?
Yes, sir.
What's your thinking on that was a community failure?
I don't know. The reason I say I don't know is I haven't communicated with that young lady at all. I don't know where her head is and what prompted her to do that. If it's something that she did on her own, is it something that was she was pushed to do? I really I don't agree with a lot of the punishment tactics that the American society do, in particular when it comes to Black people, because there's a lot that was pushed on us, that was put on us, that was put in us, you know, and I think that the punishment might not be appropriate to the extent that it is. Now, should that young lady be, should someone talk with her? Of course, you know, but what I would suggest is this, is that we have to look at it and say, hey, does this, you don't know, like I said, you don't know the temperament of that young lady. And if you approach her, how she's going to react. Now, if she doesn't react according to your standards, then what are you going to do? I mean, a person may approach her and try to be kind. Say, hey, sister, you shouldn't do this here, and she may tell you to go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do from there? Are you gonna now embolden that whole situation and turn it into something that would really, because number one, if you touch it, you're going to jail. Bottom line. Because what she is doing isn't illegal according to the laws of this land.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now if we create an environment, like we create our own community, then we can establish rules and regulations that all of the members of that community agree to. And if someone goes against that, then we have the right to deal with them according to our laws that they've agreed to. But that young lady hasn't agreed to my moral standards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so who am I to put my moral standards on her? Hey, I believe that I think it was an inappropriate thing for her to do. But how far do I take it? You know, and then if I do a situation where, okay, I deal with her, and maybe, hey, if I say something, she said, and now I got to deal with whoever her family is. I'm bringing them into it because they haven't agreed with my standards. Then I'm no better than the police that want the Black man to do something and he go against it, and the next they know he's shooting them. We have to think things through, and we should never, ever, ever make an emotional move. Unless it's defending ourselves. Then if I'm defending myself, as they say, all's fair in love and war. You know, then in war, I'm going to have to deal with that. But I would approach that young lady very delicately, if I approach her at all. It might just, I mean, if it's apparent that the people around her wasn't really paying no attention to her.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get the attention that she wanted to get, or that she was maybe paid to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if I intervene, things could get way, way, way out of hand. That's just my suggestion. You know, people are going to do what they want to do anyhow. But I suggest that the wise thing to do is just ignore that young lady, unless you get an opportunity to see her in private. You know, and deal with it appropriately from that particular angle. But I think the worst thing anyone could have done would have been to approach her publicly because I think it would have escalated into something that we really wouldn't want to see.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, that's a thought. That's a thought. Sister Gwen, I see you put in the comments, you agree. You want to elaborate?
Yes, he is so good. I totally agree. Because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking along those lines. I was sort of laughing at you because I was picturing the women that you would probably walk up with the belt with, and they'll find Maurice parts all over the river. Because I know some women that have been real dangerous. I know you can fight, brother, but I know some women that would have killed, that would have hurt you badly. It wouldn't have been pretty. No, though, and plus, if she couldn't handle it by herself, she would have got people on you, and you'd have be in a river somewhere. And I know you got people, but that ain't the way to go. And we'll wind up still back where we started.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we are under the jurisdiction of American law right now, and so some random man walking up with the belt would have been on film, and it would have really blown up, and you still would have been arrested. And she still would have been able to make a statement trying to sue you. If the person that was filming didn't cut you, or shoot you. So that's not the way to go, because that is I think it was kind of, and I hate to say it like this, but it was kind of immature or premature, because we ain't there yet. We have to have under Black first jurisdiction, where we have our rules established, and then people who want to come in to this under that jurisdiction, and then we can say that and do that. This little girl, and I have to call her a little girl because I don't think of her as a grown-up woman. She's not under Black first jurisdiction. She's under anti-Black jurisdiction right now, because this ain't the right context. So we have to understand that. And right now, she has every legal right to do what she's doing. She hasn't ceded control to Black first jurisdiction. She's not ours, not yet. She isn't until she wants to be. And then as pressure goes, I think honestly that this should be a female problem and a female issue. And it should have been, if I had my way, it would be females around her talking about her and explaining to her that ain't the way to go. And explaining to her that she's not going to get what she wants out of life doing that, because we have to approach it in a mature way, so that each individual who chooses to be moral has a reason to be moral. Right now, we ain't there yet. The moral and code and all of this stuff that you want to see in people has to come from the inside, from their being. We're going at it from the outside in, but really it should be from the inside out. You have to have the inside of you understanding what's moral and wanting to do it, and that moral person will kick in if they get enough information and motivation, positive and negative reinforcement, and so forth. Plus, we have to give that foundation. Her problem started before she was born.
Yes.
Generations ago. Okay, and so we've got to fix that from the bottom out and the inside out. And about Africa, and about Africans danced all kind of ways, but they did it in the context of Africa. But they did make body movements similar to that. And they did it without clothes on. But they were still moral people, because that was their culture and their place and time. They didn't have pregnancies over, unwed pregnancies and all of that stuff. They had a strong moral code. And these were people who, depending on their nation, didn't even wear clothes. And they danced like that because they could, because they had that strong of a moral code. So this juxtaposition of Western culture on top of an African being is already a dichotomy. So we have to address all of that and try to put it right, and then make them understand the moral code on the inside, and then build that inside to out. Right now, this culture has got no motivation to make somebody be moral. Right. We got to make them see what moral works, how moral works, and works more positive than what we got now. And I hope I said that right. I hope I explained myself well. Right now,
Yes, ma'am. I understood what you were saying.
okay, okay. I'm
I
gonna leave
did.
it
I
there.
did. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Andrew Snubnose, number 7.
Yes,
You
sir.
want to chime in on there?
I mean, I concur with what Brother Omar, not to take away from what you and the other brother, Brother James said, but I do concur with Brother Omar and what Sister Gwen B have presented. I just want to just add just a little taste on there.
Mhm.
It was spoken earlier about it's in our nature to understand or have an understanding or comprehension of right and wrong. And that's true, because you can have the smallest child and you can even have a pet. And you can tell that child, no cookie. And after a period of time, they know that you don't want them to go into that cookie jar. And then when you catch them in that cookie jar, they know right from wrong, because when they get caught, they'll suddenly stop. You know, hands reaching in, they'll stop. Because they know, see, if you don't know, you just keep going. And get me a cookie. But see, but when you know the difference between right and wrong, you know that you was taught that's inappropriate. You can't have no cookie, before dinner. And so they stop. Even pets understand, even animals have an understanding of something that they should and should not do. Like you tell your dog, don't get on the couch. And as long as you're not around, the dog will not get on the couch. But as soon as you turn your back, you'll go in there and Snuffy done got on the couch. And as soon as Snuffy see you, Snuffy jumps off the couch, because Snuffy understands the difference between right and wrong. You ain't supposed to be on that couch. Mm-hmm. Now, earlier in this history of these Peckerwoods here, they were supposed to be escaping religious persecution. And they came over here to America. They risked their lives to come to America so they can get out of wherever the situation they was in, because they did not want their children influenced by whatever it is they was trying to escape from. Mm-hmm. So it goes back to our community and the environment that you put people in. That sister is in the environment, like Sister Gwen said. That's what this environment that we're in, that's what it produced. I don't know why people get all up in arms and they wonder why there's so much murder and rape. That's what this country is about. From its very inception, from the very beginning. Slavery, rape, rob, murder, lies, theft. The list goes on and on. Pornography. Whatever kind of evil you can think about, that's what this country is about. And when those who are in other countries that have a certain type of moral standard, they feel free when they come here, so they can do the things that they couldn't do over there. Like, wow, I can wear short skirts now. Now I can be free. But it's not a betterment. It's actually making yourself worse. But it goes back again to being in a position, because that young lady should have grown up in an environment of righteousness. She should have been able to grow up in that, so she wouldn't even have to make that choice to begin with, because that's all she knows. She grew up in a moral place. But also at the same time, my thing is, it should not be forced upon the people. When I embrace righteousness, when I was a good Christian, when I was a good Muslim or whatever, I didn't do it because, oh, God gonna do this to me and I'm gonna go to hell. And that's not why I didn't want to chase skirts and stuff like that. No, I wanted to live this life because I understood that it was beneficial to me. And I loved it. And I want to do it on my own. And see, that's what this is about. So we have something called the Mississippi Campaign. That's what we want to do, but we don't want to force nobody to do nothing. We just want to create and change the environment so that they would embrace, because they can see this is good for me. This is wonderful. I like this. I don't have to drink. I don't have to smoke. I don't have to do all these different things. This is good for me. And they begin to accept it and embrace it on their own. And of course, they raise their children, and you really don't have to hardly teach the children, because they just grow up in that environment naturally. So I don't want nobody, and I want to say this and pass the mic. I don't want to beat up on people. We had enough beatings for 400 years. I don't want the whip passed from the white man to a black man. I don't want us to beat up on each other verbally or physically. We done got enough beatings, enough slander and gossip and lies and mockery and mayhem. I already took all that from the Peckerwood. Now I got to take it from a man that said, oh, you my brother. You kicking my ass. You just stabbed me. You just shot me. What kind of brother are you? I pass the mic.
Yes, sir. Excellent.
Brother,
Excellent.
Brother Maurice.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am joining a platform, and sometimes I will say a curse word if that's allowable or just not allowable. I can refrain myself, but I
No,
just
speak freely, brother. You
okay. All right.
no holds barred. Speak freely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Now, and you know, me listening to the input that we're getting in. Now, for me, I would, when I first approach her, you know, I would be like, hey, sis, you know, you don't need to be doing this, why, right? I would lay that out there for her. Now, after I done laid it out there for you, and you still want to do that, then I'm taking my belt off, and now I'm about to whoop your ass. All right? now, hear me out.
Just make sure you got bail money.
Yep, look, I've already taken that in consideration.
And good health care.
You know, what I'm thinking is this, though, is that the condition that we're in, and looking at that sister, she knows right from wrong. But we live in an environment where it says everything go. But in reality, everything don't go. And if we don't stand up and say, this, no. Now, if she was doing that back on the block, you know, that's the one thing. Then I may be able to just ignore it there. But here and on that day, it's even harder for me to just ignore it. You know, here you go, you making a nuisance on my post, you know, and I'm supposed to take charge, right? So, you know, we would like for our people to listen to the intelligence of our argument, but maybe with some of them, it's going to take them getting that ass whooped. And I feel as though even if it's a rapper or whoever, you know, you on stage and, you know, like Luke Skywalker, I don't know if they still doing the type of stuff that they were doing back then, you know, but if they doing that kind of foolishness, then I believe that is our mandate to go on that stage and whoop their ass. I really believe that, you know, we have to stop letting everything go, because what it does, it doesn't elevate us as a people, it drops us as a people. You know, when I had that encounter with that Indian, and she was so comfortable talking to me like that, and here am I, I'm bigger than her, and she didn't realize it till I told her, you know, look how big I am to you. Then it jumped in her mind, oh my God, he about to hurt me. Then she starts to move away, you know, and even whether it's these Asians, you know, they're smaller than us, but yet they talk that crap to us and they do things to us that they should not do, but they have no fear of us. They have no fear of us. And I think that they should. I think they should have a righteous fear that if they exceed the limit, we're going to whoop that ass. And it ain't negotiable. This is what you've earned. And because you've earned it, it's my duty to give it to you. And I think that that will change the behavior of our people. I really believe a good ass whooping will change the behavior of our people. You know, it's like when people meet me, right? And they may not be, you know, on my level as far as my behavior, right? And if they do something wrong, they will apologize and say, hey, Brother Muhammad, no disrespect, no disrespect, So I understand what's going on here. And it seems as though that once that is established, then things start to get better. Doc, what do you think? Is that la la land, or is this something that's real? Even though it takes a bold first step, but in my understanding, it has to be done.
Yeah, but in many ways, you're dealing with finished products, so to speak. These people who do these things and behave this way, they've been built. Bad decision after bad decision. It's hard to remove that out of their spirit and their soul after a while. I've seen family members, I've seen, people associated with friends who have been entitled and bold their entire lives. That's just quite simply who they are. And you know me, I'm an advocate for working with the willing. There are some of us who are, everybody ain't gonna be saved. And some of the resources that we're using and the time that we're using to try to reform them or to save them could be spent better elsewhere, because we're in many ways fighting such a uphill battle just in general, having to break off and continue addressing those who consciously and willfully, demonically seek to do evil, to just be disruptive. There's not much you can do with that. We can whoop them every day. I think that we would have to literally, it would be the equivalent of the British when they were dealing with the Indians, not feather. They got tired of whooping them because there were so many of them. If you're talking about whipping the ignorant amongst us, yeah, you better have some strength and some endurance, because some of our people are just flat out rotten, and there will be no reforming them. Let them go. Let them go and be rotten wherever they can find a place to be rotten at. Spend our time and our resources upon building instead of trying to reform. It's like trying to take some concrete that was not mixed correctly and make it the cornerstone of a building. That building's going to crumble on that one side. We'd be better served by just going ahead and getting some proper concrete and leaving that rubbish and that garbage that's totally unusable to itself. And I yield.
And that part always brings me back to this one point, right? Because I look at myself. Now, before knowledge came to me, I wasn't that kind of foolish to do some dumb stuff like she was doing. But yet, I wasn't who I am now, What if people looked at me and my savagery and said, that nigga's too far gone. He ain't even, we can't even pull him back. That's always my issue. How do we know who is too far gone from who is not too far gone? Because they could have looked at me and said, that nigga too far gone.
And they probably did. But my question that I would pose to you, and I don't know, only you can answer this. Did they come get you, or did you go seeking knowledge and reform?
Somebody actually gave me a tape of the minister. I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know nothing about it. They gave me the tape. But
there has to be something inside of you that is seeking a truth, seeking a different way. Okay. I don't think that you can instill that in people. It's one of the things that I often say about my students. Out of all the things that I would love to give to my students that I cannot give, the one gift is intellectual curiosity. If they're not intellectually curious, there's nothing I can really do with that. Okay? You have to have if you're not searching, you have to at least be almost at a neutral place where you're not going forward and you're not going backwards. And there is something that can be injected into your mind, into your soul, into your spirit that can help get you moving in the right direction. I think that for some of our people, they are going 100 miles per hour in the wrong direction and enjoying the thrill ride. And until they hit a wall, until something causes them to say, why am I living this way? They're so determined. And this is one of the things that I think that we discount, that people who are so determined to destroy themselves and their lives, only they can sort of stop that. And you kind of see that in regards to people with drug addictions and people who have near-death experiences. You know, I'm a person who does not believe that people change unless you almost have the hand of God that comes in and places it. And sometimes that don't even work with some people. So you got to be receptive to it. And I would venture to say that with you, because if you were going 100 miles per hour in the wrong direction, you would have went ahead and taken that tape and threw it. Man, get this bullshit up out of here. Because you're determined, you're driven to continue to live the life of Riley. Now, if you're receptive, okay, and I do believe this, that there are people who have talked to her. There are people who have said, now come on, you do you think that's appropriate? And she still did it. I have a student who actually got some national notoriety. He was signed to Def Jam and had a hit single. You know, his song made it top 5. He calls me. He's in DC, I want to say it was Maryland, DC. And he's at Frederick Douglass's house. Okay, apparently they didn't set up a museum or something. And he's like, yeah, Doc, I'm getting ready to blow one right here on his porch. And I'm like, dude, you getting ready to smoke weed on Frederick Douglass's porch. Okay. Now, this is a young man who, you know, has been around me for years, probably a good 10 years now. But he's determined to do that type of stuff because he considers it to be cute. He considers it to be notable and what have you. And so regardless of what I say to him, you know, and I said, man, don't do that. He said, okay, I ain't gonna do it. And then somebody else told me, yeah, he was all up on Facebook. He actually did it. You know, so it's not a case of, and I do believe that there are many of us who are too far gone because we're determined to continue living in a backwards and wayward life. Now, the moment that they cease that, they slow up, that they get some realization, some epiphany, so to speak, to talk about, man, why am I doing this? That inner voice finally makes it through a haze of weed and alcohol and nihilistic behavior. And then they begin this reflection. That's the moment I think that they're no longer too far gone. I think that too far gone is not an absolute position that people are in. I believe that there are moments that you can back, as you said yourself, you can, you know, somebody gave you the tape of a minister and people who saw you maybe 2 years before be like, man, he ain't gonna listen to that. He way too far gone. So I think that too far gone is almost a state of mind, a state of action, but I don't think that it's permanent. I think that all of us, especially during our youth, have had these moments where we were too far gone. And something happened. We might have woke up on the right side of the bed on that day. We might have lost a grandparent and have that conscience of, man, what would she say if she saw me out here doing this? That's when I believe that too far gone ceases. So the way that sister is right now, I believe that she's too far gone. Because you got to be way out there to do what she did in public. Maybe in time, maybe the scorn, maybe the disapproval will bring her back from too far gone land, and then we can deal with her. But until she's able to be dealt with, We can't have her in the midst of righteous people spreading this negative cultural lifestyle and political viewpoints amongst those who are trying to find themselves and figure out what this world is actually about. And I yield, brother.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Anybody else want to add to what Doc said or make another statement?
Just a little. I do. Right now, think about it. We can't prove to us that we're better than she is. I mean, we can't prove to her that we're better than she is. At this time, in this state of America, we cannot prove to her that we have anything better going on with ourselves, except our word, than she has. She's got food. I guess she got food and shelter. She looks healthy, and all of that. We can't prove that we're happier than she is or anything, because we don't have. We haven't proven ourselves to each other or the world. We gotta get our own self together and prove that the way we are thinking about living and wanting to live is actually better than the stuff that that's going on now. So until we can prove the benefits of our preferred lifestyle, we've got some work to do, and that's internal and stuff we got to do. People who need to change need to have that change come from their internal motivation, and nothing on the outside is going to make that happen. Only thing, the scenario that you're proposing is that a strange man walks up and talks to a little bit and then proceeds to beat up on her. That's what you just described. And I smile because I think you're the quintessential father figure. You're the stern father. But brother, she ain't your daughter. She is not your little girl. She's a grown woman that you don't even know. I know that you take charge and you want to, and you look at all of them as your potential kid or your child, but she's not your little girl. You're not raising her. She's grown. She's got a father of her own and a mother of her own and brothers. She's not your little girl, brother. Okay. Now if that was your daughter, I can see it, but she ain't your daughter. That's why I keep smiling at you, because I say, he ain't his daughter. He just sees all the women and young girls and younger women as his child. That she belongs to him in the spirit, but she ain't really yours.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have to listen to our mothers, because they have the necessary empathy, to raise children. I mean, men, we just gun ho, but what I would suggest is that America is like a giant pond that's frozen. You can go to that pond with a torch, and you can put that torch on that ice, and where the torch is, it will begin to unthaw. Now, the thing that we have to realize as potential leaders is that the moment you walk away from that frozen pond, guess what happens? The nature of that pond will freeze back your efforts. Our problem is that we in this country, we are in that frozen pond. And in order for us to really do what it is that we want to do, we've got to come out of her. We have to exodus. That was what Moses said to the people of his day. You got to come out of her. Because if you don't create your own environment, your home is your environment. You have a degree of control over that. But the moment your children leave your home and go out into society, they are walking into that frozen pond. And the nature of the pond will freeze those children's minds, will attract them. I mean, there are a bunch of magicians out here, and they know how to attract, you know, and we have to realize that, you know. So I think what the doctor was saying, what Sister Gwen is saying, what I'm saying, what Brother Taalik is saying, is that we need to establish our own, you know. Then what happens is that then our words become valuable. And if you got somebody that's sitting in front of a television 24/7, who's raising them? The television is, not just the television. Now, when I'm not talking about the actual box, but I'm talking about the people that put the program in there. We're dealing with people that are, for all intents purpose, hypnotized. And if you're not the one that hypnotized them, you don't know the trigger word to bring them out of their hypnosis. You know, and one of the things that I appreciated in the Nation of Islam was that Elijah Muhammad, people came to him because they saw that he loved them. The average person in church, they say, oh, how I love Jesus. Why? Because he first loved me. You know, so the optimum thing to put out there is love. And I'm going to add another word to love. I'm going to put an adjective in front of it. Unconditional. You got to show people that you love them in spite of what they're doing. When they see that you love them, then you can critique them. Like, wow, just a suggestion, right? Sister, I see you was really, really into that. I mean, I believe that you gave that twerking experience your best. However, that might not have been the best way or place to do it. You give an affirmative thing first, then you go with your critique. But if you walk up to them and you're critiquing, and as sisters say, who are you? Mind your business. Do I come to you and tell you that you're too righteous? You know, but I'm only saying this is that we might want to push love first. You know that you love the sister for the mere fact that she's a Black human being, that she's possibly connected indigenously to the ex-slaves. You know that. She don't have a clue. You know, she don't have a clue. You know, and I would just sometimes we got to take it easy. We got to take it slow, because it brings to my mind, there was a story in the Islamic history. There was a warrior by the name of Salahuddin. Salahuddin had the reputation of being a fierce warrior, so much so that they called him the Sword of Allah. He won victory after victory after victory. One day, Salahuddin was captured by the enemy. The enemy knew Salahuddin was who he were, and he knew if he killed him, he would become a martyr. So he told Salahuddin, he said, listen, Salahuddin, if you go out in front of the people and you bow to me, I'll let you live. The conversation began to happen, especially amongst the Muslims that was that Salahuddin had led, that there is no way he's going to bow to any man. Salahuddin had never bowed to no man. So Salahuddin went out. He agreed with the emperor, with the person that captured him, and he bowed to that gentleman in front of all of his followers. And they was distraught. It's almost, you've never bowed to anyone. Why would you do something like that? You should have just let him kill you. Salahuddin said this to them. He said, look, alive, I can do much for you, but dead, I can't do anything. What am I saying? I'm encouraging strategizing.
Exactly.
That's what the whole moral of that story is. You have to. I think who wrote that? Did that? Was it a Kenny Rogers? And the gambler that
you got to know when to hold them. Yeah, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run.
It's all about strategizing. And the thing about that is that you can't let your enemy know. They should be able to come here in a setting like this here with all of us here. They should get on this thing and not know who the leader is. Because we don't put our best minds out front. That's how they have picked us off. From way back in during the time of Jim Crow, back in the 1800s, is that they have been able to identify who the leader were. We wasn't smart like them and say, look, we're gonna produce a document, a constitution that everybody can agree with. Now, our leader is that document. The leader of America is the Constitution, not Trump, not Bush, not Obama, not Washington, not Hamilton, not Wilson. The leader of America is a document. And everybody signs on to that document and they swear an allegiance to it. And only if you do that can you be the leader. Trump pushed it. And look what it got him. So that's what we have to, this is what we have to do, is create a document that people can agree with. We do our own, hey, look, man, we do our own preamble. We do our own constitution. That way, we have something that will outlive us. This constitution has survived over 200 years.
Right.
The document, men have come and gone. Then we can go out and we can rally our people behind a document, not an individual. Because if we put the individual out there, they are going to kill them.
Yes.
They have no problem. America have no problem killing.
No problem.
And we have to realize that. And therefore, that man, we say, look, we're going to strategize now. We're not going to respond. But look, America know how a nigga is going to act. America knows how supposedly Black leaders are going to act because we want to be out front.
Right.
And in Islam, you have two terms. You have imam, that's like your preacher guy. And there's another term called Khalifa.
That's right.
So the imam is the one that gets out front and pray in front of all the people. But the people in the audience don't blindly follow him, because if he make a mistake, they correct him in something as valuable as praying. He could be up there saying a prayer. If he make a mistake, someone in the audience that's knowledgeable, they're going to correct him. If he don't see where he made the mistake in, they replaces him. And that's what we have. I ain't saying we got to become Muslims, that all Black people got to become Muslims. No, you believe what you want to believe, but we need a document. Gotta have it, because the truth of the matter is, what we say out of our mouth is hot air going in and cold when it goes out. There is no, we have to realize we gotta do things differently. I mean, it's wonderful for us to go and say, oh man, what Dr. King did was this here. What Frederick Douglass did was this. And what this one did was that. And what that one did was that. They didn't leave a document. They didn't establish a government. We need a government. Because with the government, with a constitution, we could care less what Brother Omar has to say. We could care less what Brother Muhammad has to say, or what Brother Taalik has to say, or what Sister Gwen has to say. Because it ain't important. That's not what's leading the country. I'm going to stop because I know I am so far off the topic.
No, it's good. It's good. You're bringing up information that we have to discuss. Exactly, because in our work, we are creating documents. Yeah, we're on that. We're definitely already on that. I didn't look at it from that perspective, as the document is the leader.
Hey, in the Muslim world, what's the leader? The Quran.
The Quran.
That's a document. Supposedly in the Christian world, what's the leader? The Bible.
Bible.
It's a document.
Yeah.
It's a document. Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Can I say, and just a little taste of frosting here, because everybody covered this thing. Brother brought up the Constitution, and I know a lot of us, because they white, we might not have a lot of respect for certain folks, whatever, but wisdom, information, it don't make no difference what the vessel is, if it's something that you can use. And when you look at this Constitution, you got to give it to these Peckerwoods. You got to give it to them. And remember, they've been gone for 200 some years or whatever. But they designed this Constitution where it actually defends itself. It defends itself, and where it's hard to destroy it. And they've been, you got revisions, but it take a lot to revise this Constitution. It's basically going to stay its original self. And they got the system. You have the presidency, the judicial system, and the Congress and all like that. They got this check and balance type thing going on. One particular person or group can't just take over the power. It's like a balance type thing. A system of checks and balance. That's some bad stuff. That's amazing when you think about it. And then it goes back to what we talk about, strategy. And for those who don't know, or who are familiar with myself, I put out a story. I did it They did not search it out or anything like that. 2007, I told the story. I was locked up in the crazy house for 10 years. And the reason why I'm able to talk to you on this platform tonight is because I had to develop a strategy. Being emotional wasn't helping me. Quoting from the Bible and the Quran, because when I first got locked up, I was a Muslim and I quoted from the Quran all the time. And I always told the Peckerwoods, God is going to do this to you and God is going to do that. They looked at you, who this nigga? No, he crazy as a mug, but I believe that. And I'm waiting for this God to knock these doors down because I know I've done everything in my power to be a righteous person all my life. So I know God gonna come and get me out of here. I believe that with all my heart, all sincerity. But the point I want to make, I don't need to talk about my whole experience in that, except I was there for 10 years and I was locked up with the worst of the worst. We're talking about a sister that's twerking. I was locked up with killers, people that murdered 3 or 4 people, gang members, people that, this guy sliced his mama head off. Guy cut his wife's head off in the driveway in broad daylight, the son of a judge. This guy took a concrete block, bashed his girlfriend's head in broad daylight in a supermarket. Bow. Rapists, drug dealers, you name it, pedophile, you name it, I was with them for 10 years. And of course, the real crazies, guys running around thinking they Jesus or Muhammad or whatever, running around thinking whatever and delusional. And the thing about being insane too, I don't know what it is about insanity, but a lot of these guys get extra strength and they will hurt you. I don't care how small they are, they will seriously hurt you. That's the type of environment that I was in for 10 years. So what helped me to survive, because I told them one day in 1 hour meetings, I told them, I said, look, I know y'all crazy and whatever, but you mess with me, I'm gonna kick your ass. It's just simple as that. I'm just gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna give you the ass whooping your grandmom and great grandfather and ancestors from Sweden should have gave you a long time ago. That was my strategy, just to be bold, my strength. Because at that time, I was in my early 30s, I was strong, little skinny, strong guy. I was. And they respect that because they knew I played basketball. They knew I was in shape. I whooped your ass. But I changed that strategy as time went on. And I turned to kindness to everybody, especially the ones that was jacked up like me, supposed to be mental patients and crazy, whatever. I learned that kindness and just respecting people was working for me much, much better. And I was kind to everybody and helped them. A lot of those people couldn't even read and write. I helped them write letters to their loved ones and helped them with their legal affairs because after a certain period of time, I had learned the legal, how to be a jackleg lawyer. So I learned how to do motions and file paper. Actually, I got some of them out of that place, filing these motions. And I would be sitting there playing basketball and people would just walk up to me. I'm not thinking about them. They just walk up to me and just tell me their story, how they end up in the crazy house and what happened to them, their whole, I'm looking at them, I'm not asking for that. But see, the reason why they come to me because I was showing myself as this kind, loving person. Now, really, I was trying to get the hell out of the Dodge. That's what I was trying to do. But they saw me as this kind, loving type person, and they could tell me their story. See, we don't know the story behind this young lady that's twerking. We don't know her life story from a child growing up. We don't know her story at all. We don't know the story of the rapist and the robber. Do you know a lot of these people, I talked to them. Yeah, they were accused of heinous crimes, and yes, they should be punished for these crimes. But there's something behind. They did not come out their mama's womb and said, and the infant says in his mind, when I grow up, I want to take a brick and bust my girlfriend upside the head and go to prison for 47 years. That's not how it worked. Something happened to these people in order to put them where they at. The so-called nigger, we in this country, something, and and we know here, something happened to us for a long period of time to cause us to be who we are today. Not only as a people, but something happened to me to make me Angel Snub 7. I just didn't come out the bat because I was a Muslim at one time. I was a Christian and I was just a Negro. Didn't give a damn at one time. I was running around stealing. I was Mr. Burglar. You wouldn't want me around your house. I was like, oh, that's a nice B1 sign brother got there. I'll go in there and get that later on. That's the way I was at one time. I enjoyed stealing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoyed it. I got a thrill out of that. Something, and it wasn't because, I was poor, but actually when I was stealing and burglarizing, I got a thrill out of it. It was fun. It was fun for me. I like the thrill of doing that and getting away with it. It was the thrill of the whole thing. And it got to the point in just being kind to people. Somebody tried to threaten me, one tried to hurt me. Those clients would stand up. No, not him, you're not. Not him. You're not gonna do that to him. Not with us around. That kindness and that love to these people gave me their protection. And I'm gonna say this and pass the mic. Another thing, that kindness and love, that example of the Jesus of that Bible that talk about, love. It's just like the sister was expression, love is, love get us more. What they say, you get more bees with honey than with vinegar. I was talking to a group of brothers when I first got out the crazy house. When you're in the insane asylum, my situation, it was forensic, but it's differently. But they have their, you get out and you're on parole. They have their version of parole too, but it's not called parole. I was out on parole and they sent me and I got this job, and all these other brothers, they was on real parole. And for those of you who don't know, you have to pay to be on parole nowadays. It's not free. If you want to be on parole, you got to get a job and give a certain percentage of your money to them Peckerwoods in order to be on parole. And that's what these brothers had to do. They forced them to get a job and they paid. Now for me, they was trying to do the same thing with me, but they never made no big deal about it. I never gave them a dime, but I was supposed to give them 40% of my pay. I get 60% because all these brothers, they're gonna go back to their halfway houses and stuff. So they're not paying rent and food and all like that. So that, I'm going back to the crazy house. I go out here, work a job, and I'll go back to the crazy house at night. They let me go at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have to be back at the crazy house by 8:30. So I'm supposed to give them 40% of my money, and I'd rather not work. I said, I'm not doing it. They didn't bring it up, and I didn't either. But me and the brothers, I'm trying to talk to them back and forth. I wasn't a Muslim, I was a Christian. I was just out there. I just know right and wrong, and I just know that I love our situation to change. And we having these conversations. And as you know, I really don't use profanity or nothing like that, blah, blah, blah. And so one day I was talking, and I threw a little profane word, what they call profane words out there, this shit word, shizit word, and whatever. Some of these words that Brother Maurice is famous for. I was putting those words out there, but the brothers stopped me. They said, oh, before I could even get those words going good, they said, don't be like us. Don't be like us. We like you just the way you are. That's what they told me. These was young men. Some of them was associated with that rapper Nelly. You might have heard of Nelly from St. Louis. Yeah, some of them was part of his, I think he got a baseball league or something in St. Louis, something like that. And some of them got in trouble. They ended up in trouble, whatever. They was out here. But what all I'm saying is that for us, and if it wasn't for kindness and if it wasn't for respect to other people, chances are I wouldn't be talking to you right now, because that's what really helped me get out of that situation. And these people, you talking about somebody, oh, well, they useless and they too far gone. I work with criminals, people who done the most heinous things in the world. You mean to tell me we can't work with a sister that twerk? She's so far out there and far. No, they're not. Something happened. We have to be kind enough and get off our high horses so that we can understand other people. And just like my brother Omar always tell me, he said, whether you like it or not, Angel Snuck, you know, you putting yourself in a leadership position, and we have to do things differently than others, because our actions can do us a lot of good, and our actions can do us a lot of harm. And instead of progressing, it can set us back a whole, and we don't need no more setbacks. We've been set back now for over 50 years. We need to do nothing but progression. And this is, again, I'm always promote the Mississippi campaign, because I'm in a hurry to get the Mississippi campaign, but I'm not in a hurry to throw out people under something that they might think that is some type of tyranny, dictatorship or something. I want to be able to show them love and kindness, and they respect us. And it don't even make no difference whether or not, see, those brothers, they was looking out for me. They didn't want me to be like them, but they was on my side because they had that respect for me. When I left the crazy house, those people cried. You hear me? They cried when I left. Even some of the staff cried, because I was kind to everybody. I was looking out for everybody. I wrote grievances and stuff for the staff against their employee. You know, I was looking out for everybody. Those people cried. I was like, wow, you got these folks crying up in here. You know, I didn't really want to leave. But see, that's the way I want us to be. I want people to look at us as examples, so they know that we love them and cherish them. I don't want to do you no harm. Now, there's going to be a time where you might have to whoop ass for real, but it's out of love, like we do our children. Mm-hmm. And the children know that you're not trying to hurt them and kill them because you hate them. I'm trying to teach you a lesson. I'm trying to show you something here. It's out of love. Mm-hmm. I pass the mic.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's true.
Yes,
everything that we do is out of love.
Out of love.
Out of love. Even when we whoop that ass, it's out of love.
He ain't gonna let the paddle go, y'all. We might have to put in the Constitution, no more corporal punishment.
Excellent. So I'm not going to go further into our topic that we were supposed to get into, because our time is almost up. 2 hours go just like that.
It's beautiful though. Beautiful.
Definitely. Sure. So I'm gonna save this topic we were supposed to get into tonight for next week.
Okay.
But I want to dig a little bit more in there, because y'all brought up some very good things that I would like for some y'all to expound on. And one of those things was unconditional love.
Yes.
Now, me personally, I don't believe in unconditional love, simply because everything that exists, it exists based on a condition. Everything that the God has created, it exists based on a condition. Mm-hmm. So to have unconditional love, I don't see how that is. I've never believed in unconditional love. Like, I would give people an example. If you kill my mama, how am I supposed to love you? I ain't gonna have no love for you. Ain't no way. So I never believed in that unconditional love theory. I don't even believe God has unconditional love. Everything is conditional. Everything that is made is based on a condition. So how do we take, because a lot of people believe in this, unconditional love theory, but how do you take that from the theory base and make it realistic? And truly, is that even possible to make it realistic? And I open it up for the panel. Whoever wants to jump in.
I'll go ahead. I never was an unconditional love type person, not because I think that unconditional love is a bad thing. It's just that I'm kind of mean. And so I ain't like that. I'm just real bitchy sometimes. And you gotta earn me, earn my stuff, earn my love, and you gotta prove yourself, and I gotta feel comfortable with it. And I'm not saying that unconditional love is bad. I'm just saying I'm mean, so I'm acknowledging me. I'm also not the forgiving type. You do me wrong, I'm gonna sit there and wait to really hurt you at the worst time as best I can, because I'm like that. I might forgive something that after I done see that you're repenting for it and all, and I might forgive, and it's rare. So, but I'll use that same standard for everybody, which is why I want us to separate. So I worked it in twice, is because we tried everything else with the other kind of people.
Right.
So yeah, the unconditional love thing don't work. I will like to do this though, is to work harder to love other Black people and work hard to love ourselves. We go, we have a history of going out of our way to love even the worst people that treat us badly. Do that, I call it the Job syndrome, where the Job in the Bible stayed faithful and loving towards something that was abusing them. I'm not like that, and I don't recommend anybody else that loves himself be like that. I think that's a sin against the Creator to let yourself be abused continually. And I wouldn't forgive something that did like that, even if they paid me back 1,000-fold. I would still be pissed off at a Creator or anything else that would abuse me. I don't care how big you are, how special you are, what you did, or how you got there. If you're hurting me, I am going to be mad at you, whatever you are. So the unconditional love thing don't work for me.
No.
Okay. I just want us to work harder to love Black people, because we seem to toss other Black people away at the drop of a hat, whereas we're putting up with crap from other people all over the world. But we'll beat up somebody Black easily, quickly, but put up with stuff from other people. And that's what I think we need to work on.
I agree. Excellent. Anybody else want to drop a comment on that?
Yes.
Go ahead, Brother
It's a
Omar.
term. Yeah, it's a term. It's a term that I brought up because I feel that I don't think the problem is necessarily with the unconditional. I think the problem comes in is with us not understanding love.
Okay.
You know, a parent loves, for the most part, their children unconditionally. Does that mean that the parent won't discipline the child? A lot of time, love is keeping people from doing things that would harm them. Keep people from doing things that would harm you. So I think what we have to do is probably find a better definition for the term love. You know, now what do I mean by unconditional love? Okay, what I mean by unconditional love is that I will give you the benefit of the doubt first. If you would do things that would break that sacred bond, things that would harm, then my love now becomes correcting you. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a strong proponent of having rules and laws. You have the rules and the laws that would get you. My unconditionalness comes in with me giving you a choice. You have a choice to choose to do this or to do that. If you're going to do things that's going to hurt, that's going to harm society, there are going to be rules and laws that are in place to deal with that. And if you have to, if an individual or individuals have to be punished according to the law, it has nothing to do with my unconditional love. I still love you. But you broke and violated a law, or you broke and violated a rule that the society has agreed upon. So unconditional love is not just allowing people to do whatever they want to do. That if you go out there and, as the Sister Gwen said, you kill a loved one of mine, that you don't be dealt with for that. But not just a loved one of mine, a loved one of someone else's. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and the topic came up on the police brutality thing, how the police are killing Black people, right? What I said to her, I said, hey, look, that ain't even a problem. Why isn't it a problem, Omar? It's not a problem because the proper thing to do is we have to have ourselves together, so together as Black people, that if a police officer killed a Black person and it's not justified, he's not protecting his or her life, that person have an option to go and turn themselves in. That's the first option. The second option, we're not going to waste our time going. I am against going out in the street marching. No, we don't march, and nobody don't have to tell anybody, hey, look here, go and take care of that officer. That guy come up missing.
That's right.
But he just don't come up missing. He come up missing with a note on him. To let people know that we are not going for that. We're not going to put your future in the hands of some racist behind judge or some wicked prosecutor. You just come missing because you took a life. It has to be dealt with. When I was a kid, about 18, 19 years old, I was in a place called Carteret, New Jersey. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, it was known in the Black community that if the police arrested you and took you down to the precinct, you got your ass whipped. Simple as that. I went to the police department and I told them this. I said, listen, I said, I'm 18, 19 years old. I said, if I do something to cause you to arrest me, here I am. Take me and arrest me. But if you put your hands on me, you have to ride patrol through my community. I ain't got to go through yours. They will only do that as long as they know that the people will allow it. Look, so what? Okay, I'll shoot you, and all you're gonna do is come down and march. We shall overcome. What's to stop police from killing us then?
Right.
I'm gonna kill you with love, because I'm not gonna permit you to violate the rights of innocent people. Mind you, I'm talking about innocent people. I'm not gonna allow you to do that. Now, if this black man or black woman have a gun and there's a shootout and they get killed, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't tell any police, whether you're black or white, not to go home and see your family tonight. Because because when I walk out my front door, I walk out my front door with the object of coming back in that front door. I'm not gonna go out there and do harm to anyone, but ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. You'll have to do your thing from a distance, like they did Dr. King. They didn't come up to him and man up. He's a coward, hid behind a doggone bush.
Right.
That's unconditional love. Unconditional love don't mean being a fool. I love justice. I love freedom. Unconditionally. I love my family unconditionally. But I told my children when they were young, well, they're still young, but when they were young, don't go out there and commit no crime, because if you commit a crime, don't call me. I'm not coming to you. Why do I tell my children that? Because I had that same mindset when I was a young man. If I do the crime, I got to handle the time. If I do something and I get locked up, I ain't calling my family asking them to get me out. No, look, give me some doggone books and let me get better while I'm in here. They locked me up when I was 19 years old for something I didn't do. But you know what I said to the police? I said, you locked up a nigger, but I will not come out behind them bars one. So when you lock me up, Mr. Police, you lost your nigger. But that is loving me unconditionally. So what I'm saying is that we have to redefine terms. We're given terms, but we have to redefine them in our best interest. Who said that Webster has a monopoly on defining words?
That's right. That's right.
I am Dr. Omar Shamsuddin. Now, did I go to any white school and get accreditations? Hell no. Look, man, I've been doing this work for 50 years. If that don't earn me my doctorship, what will? Because my question is who is it that gave the label to the first doctor?
Go ahead. That's right. That's right.
You doing this work, you earn your doctoralship. You earning it. I don't need no white man to tell me I'm a damn doctor. And anybody can't handle that, can't handle Dr. Shamsuddin, That is your right. I could care less. I know my value. And I'm not gonna let anybody give that to me. I give my value to myself.
That's right.
Because hey, look, if somebody go to school for 5, 10 years, for 10 years, 12 years, and they a doctor, hell, I've been doing this thing for over 50 years. And I haven't been bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been studying. I've been observing. I've been doing. In my in the town where I live, I single-handedly broke up a multi-million-dollar drug empire. As they say in the conscious community, I got receipts. I ain't just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go look at the newspaper. I was in the papers. I don't taunt it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I've earned my doctor. That's what it takes. That's what it takes in order for us to do this thing, man. We can't seek credibility with white folks.
That's right. That's right.
So don't, hey, listen, you know what I say? You don't have to deal with unconditional love. You do what works for you. Because who is Omar Shamsuddin to tell you how to live your life? But what I say to you, whatever choice that you make, man up and live by it. Accept the consequences,
good or bad,
and take the rewards. And that's our problem. We are just hell bent on asking white people to help us. Man, if they ain't helped us in all this time, they're not going to.
Nope.
I'm suspicious of their help.
Right.
You better be. Going back to, are Americans stupid? We can't be stupid. And so what's the definition of insanity?
Same thing.
Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result.
Right.
Integration damn near killed us as a people. Dr. King recognized it. God bless his soul. But when he spoke on it and the white people saw what direction he was talking about going, they put a bullet in his head. Because they knew that we were better off on our own. So look, white folks, all I want y'all to do, I don't hate you. I just want you to leave us the fuck alone.
Yes.
Because your help is killing us.
I think that's the desired outcome.
It is. You are so right, Sister Gwen.
That's right. That's right. Well, family, we are 10 minutes over our time.
Thank you. I can't get long-winded.
It's okay. It's okay. We all suffer from that problem, and
You know, but
Lord knows I do.
But beloved, I have observed. I have been that spook who sat by the door. I have observed white people. And and I would say to Black America, who gives a damn if they burn that damn building down in DC?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't got no friends down there.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Blacks that are there, they ain't got no power.
Nope.
Even if they want to do right, they can't do right. Because they don't got power to overpower those people down there. So I'm saying, look, if you want to burn the damn Capitol down, hey, that's white folks fighting white folks.
Yep. This is a fight we're gonna stand aside.
Yeah, get the heck out of the way and let them go ahead and say, look, man, you're right. Hey, power to the white man. Go on down.
Protect your neighborhood and your family.
There you
and leave them to that white on white deal,
Crime.
they issue
Crime.
they got.
They always talk about black on black crime, right? You know, let them handle their white on white crime.
Yep. And then wait for them to come and try to mess with you and then go ape.
Let me tell you
In
something. I know.
self-defense.
Brother Muhammad, I'm so sorry. Let me tell you
Go
something.
ahead. I'm sorry, Brother Muhammad, too.
Let me tell you something that I know. I worked with the Patriots community 25 years ago. I studied with them. I taught them. They are not concerned about us. I'm talking about the Patriots. This militia group. These guys believe that their government has been stolen, not by black people. When they marched through that Capitol, they wasn't looking for Maxine Waters. They wasn't looking for Cory Booker.
Nope.
They were looking for white people.
Mm.
Now all of a sudden, it's such a big deal because they saw that they were looking for white folks. And they got us seeing them, oh, there was such a bad thing that happened down at the Capitol. That was such a bad thing. Really? Thank you, Brother Muhammad.
Yeah, we do have to get into this topic next week because that is a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we're definitely going to get into it next week since we weren't able to get into it today. But, you know, what we got in today was definitely a good topic to get into, a good subject of conversation to get into it because we got to understand it. So we're going to go ahead to closing comments. We'll go start off with Sister Gwen, then we go to Brother Taalik, and then we'll go to Brother Omar, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
I'm gonna
Go ahead,
say
This
it.
was a good topic tonight.
I've talked enough.
This was a good topic tonight because we need to have this said too. And I like when he came in asking who paid her, because that was a very profound thing that didn't even occur to me. But I agree with them. I like that because it explained a lot. During this time, they have been trying to, I'm talking about white people, the white people in the media and in law enforcement and everybody talking about it. They're trying to tag it off and put it on somebody else, make it be something else. And that's how you can tell they're not even genuine in trying to fix things, even for themselves, because they're trying not to make it be about them. Yeah. And so that, and when he said that, I just added that to the layer of deflection that they're trying to do. And so I like that. And I like that this topic came up because that she would have been a perfect deflection if anybody was paying attention to her, but it looks like they're not. But I did receive an email from a relative showing me that, you know, I didn't see it, I just saw an article about it. So they're trying to play it up, but really that ain't even nothing even that far interesting, really, in the scheme of things. So I know, so he brought that up and I said, well, it is a game. Good thinking. And that's when I wrote in there, wow, he's good. Okay.
Yes.
So that was my closing comment, and I appreciate his insight.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Gwen. Brother Taalik?
Yes, I just want to say that I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm glad that I my health permitted me to be able to do that. Not too bad tonight. I'm cool. And I really enjoyed the different opinions and the different strategies, the way people think. That's what we need. That's what we need here. And there was no animosity. There was nobody trying to cut somebody else off. You know, all that old foolishness, all that silliness. That, you know, now back in the day, I used to love it. You know, when I was younger and I was fresh on new YouTube and I had these new ideas, whatever, bring it on. I'm ready to fight everybody. I go to everybody else. You didn't have to come to my page. I come to your page. You know, that's the way I was. I enjoyed it. But, you know, in recent times, you know, especially with the Mississippi campaign, I've grown tired of that. I don't have to prove myself no more. I don't have to go all the way out there like that no more. And plus, there's no benefit. What is there to benefit? You're going to do all that hollering, screaming, and going back and forth. I'm still going to do me. You still going to do you. Ain't nobody going to change nothing. And the people that like you still going to like you. And the ones that like me still going to like me. There's no benefit to it. But when we can come together like this and just talk, and it goes back to love. There was something when I was in the Nation of Islam that we was taught about Master Farad Muhammad. And we was taught that Master Farad Muhammad said that he was willing to climb the tallest mountain to save just one of us. That show you the type of love and the caring that he had for us. He is willing to do that just to save one, let alone the 20 million, just the one. So we don't have to worry about all the millions. Just concentrate on the ones that we can get together and we can get them to do right so that we can move forward. Because what they say, if you build it, they shall come.
That's right.
And that's where unconditional love comes in for me, because I'm sort of like Sister Gwen. I'm vindictive. You know, I'm vengeful. You know, I don't. You know, I'm not gonna build a house and you didn't do nothing, and here you come living. I don't play that. But in our situation, we have to be like Master Farad Muhammad. We have to be like that Jesus, because it goes back to the Bible again. When Jesus was getting crucified, he turned to the Father and said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." So that's the mentality in mind that I have, is that I can't trip off how these people treat me. Ain't just not 7 is this, ain't just not 7 is that. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Because, look, I'm too old for games. I don't need no big house. For years, I had my sleeping bag. My relatives gave me a corner in their house, and I lived that way for years. I'm not tripping off no cars, houses, or whatever. Only thing, I don't want your money. You out there trying to get money and you donate and you driving a beautiful, you know, you using your donation money to drive a car, all that silly stuff. I don't care. I've never been that way. I've never been materialistic. Never in my life. The only thing in my life, materialistic, that I ever really wanted was a pure gold watch. That's the only thing I ever wanted. But then by the time I got the money to get the watch, they don't wear watches like that no more. You know, like, so I mean, I could wear it, but I mean, they don't wear watches like that no more. So I don't need the big house. I don't need the big cars, the fancy suits. You see, I come on YouTube, I'm unshaven, I'm all raggedy. It don't make no difference. I'm going to be me. I don't care about that kind of stuff. It don't mean nothing when you're living with your enemies. You're a pretty slave with your clothes on. They had pretty slaves back then, you know. Had the slave all pretty in the hats and whatever pretty. Yeah, but you're a slave. So what's the sense of getting all dressed up and you're a slave with a big pool in your house and 2 basketball goals in your house. You're a Negro slave. Oprah is a slave. Bill Cosby is a slave. Will Smith is a slave. And Jada is a slave. So that's not, you know, who cares? Our work and what we're doing here, this is the best platform. Us who are small like this, we are the ones that offer the gold information. We are the ones that's the best. That's the only one. I unsubscribe to all those suckers. Sinetta TV, Young Pharaoh, all the big boy Taalik. I don't care about what they said. They talk about no one. They're not talking about nothing. I listen to Brother Maurice. I listen to some other old timers that have been on YouTube probably as long as I have. All them people, they don't, what are they doing? They got thousands of followers. What have they accomplished between 2010 and 2020? What have they accomplished? Nothing. No more than me, and I don't have nothing. So the embarrassment is on you, because you're the one that got the thousand subscribers. You the one getting all the money. Not me. I don't have nothing. Ain't nobody giving me no money like that. You the one that need to be embarrassed. So I would hope that this type of platform will continue, because I love it. I love Brother Maurice. I always like Brother Maurice. I'm drawn to Brother Maurice fire, because that's the way I was when I was his age. I mean, I was a 24-hour-a-day hustling with the bow tie, running around here. I never shut my mouth. I always was telling my family, Minister Farrakhan this and Elijah Muhammad this, and I was always in the street. I had guns pulled on me. People threatened me with bats, all kinds. I didn't care. I loved it. Bring the bat, bring the gun. I didn't care, cause see, I really believe God was with me. I'm in New York City on the subway train, messing with people, selling the Final Call newspaper. God with me. I ain't scared of the prostitutes, the drug dealers, anybody out here at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't scared, because Allah is with me, and I'm out here doing what Allah want me to do. I wish I had that fire now. I'm an old guy now. I don't have all that like that no more, and sickly. But whatever I have to offer, I want to be able to put that on the table, and I don't mind giving my life. Whatever little life I have, I don't mind giving it to the struggle, because the future generations deserve it, and somebody did it for me. Because if Elijah Muhammad didn't do, if Malcolm didn't do, if Dr. King didn't do, and the ones that we don't even know who they are, if they didn't do, we wouldn't be here trying to do what we're doing right now to this day. And I pass the mic to Brother Maurice.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, big brother. Thank you.
Well,
Brother Omar, come on. I know you got some more closing thoughts in there. Come on and bring it forward.
Just that I thank you so kindly for trusting me enough to allow me to speak on your platform. I'm honored. And my brothers and sisters, I love you all.
Me too.
Unconditionally.
mm-hmm.
Because I think I can see where your heart is. I'm an observer, you know, and I've been trained to hear what someone say, and a lot of times what they don't intend to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and thank you so much. I'm not gonna go into any type of long discourse. I'm just grateful to be in your presence. And could I just say just one thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We learn and we grow from each other.
Yes, sir.
We were taught by Elijah Muhammad that steel sharpens steel and men sharpens men. You know, and when we can respect the fact that everybody has something to offer us, you can't do nothing but grow from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen to people, hear what they're saying. If they only say one thing that is a benefit, take it. Be like a sponge with absorbing the good, because we all have something good. You know, even our beloved sister that was out there twerking,
Mm-hmm.
we all learned what not to do.
That's right.
You know, because I mean, look, who lifted up twerking in society?
Mm.
That sister didn't invent it.
Right.
It's in our Black community where it has been lifted up. And what they'll do, they'll let one or two whites do it. And that etches it in stone.
Mm.
I mean, I'm finished.
Go ahead, bro. If you got more,
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Because
sir.
you know what happens is that one thought triggers another and another and another.
Mhm.
And an hour from now, we'll be still talking.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank the panel for joining us on our Tuesday roundtable. And as I said, we didn't get a chance to get into our subject, but as you can see, tonight was an awesome subject still, and we learned a lot and we share a lot. But we'll get into that next topic next week. And we ask that our current panel members please join us back again next Tuesday with the same link at the same time, 5 o'clock Central Time. And
Wow.
so we're going to close as we always say.
Mm.
And we say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me, and our God will reign supreme. We are Black first, today, tomorrow, and forever. Love you, family. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Destroy the demons and power and blessings.
Thank you,
Family.
sister. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad we had a sister on board.
Yeah,
We need
Yeah.
somebody to balance us all.
right, you know.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, family. Peace and
All right.
blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Night.
Peace.